Hello, welcome back to the channel. I've got an exciting tier list today. This is the Harry Potter franchise tier list. It's going to be a pretty quick one because for the most part this series is pretty consistent. Full disclosure, I didn't truly watch these movies until two summers ago. I watched them all in like 2 weeks, and I watched the last two back to back on the same night. And it's because actually I was working at the Lego store, and a bunch of Harry Potter sets were coming out at that time, and I wanted to be more knowledgeable about the franchise. I had seen some of the movies before then, just not for years. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I know I've watched that, I just don't remember it. I've seen bits and pieces at friends' houses and whatever, but that's when I decided to sit down and watch them. And I really liked them. Some of them I loved, and some of them I really liked. So let's just get into it. Let's see. I'll start with the first one. So to me, the first one, and get it out of the way, the second one are B tier. I do happen to be one of the people who likes when the series gets a bit darker. The first two movies are charming, and but and it's by nature of the source material, in that the actors are younger and the audience was younger, and they're kind of younger movies, which is fine. They're just not my favorite, but I do like them. None of these movies are bad except one, but save that because the Fantastic Beasts movies are here too. Next up, we'll do Prisoner of Azkaban. Which is an A. It's on the lower end of A. But God, these are so small. I can't see them. I'm trying to go in order, but I can't read the titles. Goblet of Fire is higher in A. That used to be my favorite, and parts of it I are, favorite status. I like all the stuff with the ball. I like the sort of competition element. One critique that I have of sort of this middle of the franchise is that at times parts of the story can feel unimportant because it's building to, the return of Voldemort and, the meat of the thing, And a lot of the earlier movies have virtually nothing to do with that, and so they can feel sort of episodic. Not necessarily in a bad way. I think it works. I think growing up with these characters is a really special thing, especially considering this cast of characters who you're, especially, when I watched it in a shorter period of time, watching them grow up is a pretty cool thing that this series has that is very unique. And also, full disclosure, I've read like 3 of the books, not all 7. I plan to read all 7 someday, but I haven't done that yet. Next up, if I can continue to go in order and find the 5th one. Okay, Order of the Phoenix. It's well, switch these first of all. It's A for sure. That's one that I'd say probably in between the 4th and the 6th one, it sort of blends in almost for me, which I think is really just a result of me watching these movies too fast. I need to rewatch some of them, but for me, I couldn't tell you as much of what happened in that one. I mean, it's clear I'm not as much of a diehard fan as some people are. I just like them, I'm more of a casual fan. Is it bad that all of these I'm just sticking an A? Don't worry, there's an S and a C coming. That actually is, I think, the only one. Half-Blood Prince is the only one that I saw in theaters. I saw it in theaters for a friend's birthday party, whatever year that freaking was. Okay. I'm putting this one has the 7th and 8th movie as one, which is fine because, like I said, I watched them back to back. They pretty much are one movie. It's a part 1, part 2 situation. That's S tier. That's some top of the line stuff. Especially the 7th movie is really, I like that it's more tone driven and more character driven. It's less sort of out there. It's a bit more contained in a sense, in a character sense. And I thought that was a great way to enter into the end of the franchise, or not the franchise, the series, because there was more. There's Fantastic Beasts. So I happen to, oh, something got messed up. You are still in B. Fantastic Beasts is, for the sake of fairness, it has to be C. But I do like it. That's the thing. I don't dislike it. But I can't in good conscience put it on B tier with the first two movies. I like the characters. I like the idea of the story, but its follow-up, Crimes of Grindelwald, is easily a D. I mean, it's a mess. It has good enough stuff in it. I actually happen to really like Johnny Depp in that movie. But yeah, it's a mess. And in terms of what it does for the lore, I think J.K. Rowling went overboard with that and didn't continue with the potential that she set up with these characters. And went all in on lore stuff, which I think was her biggest mistake. But for Fantastic Beasts 3, she has a co-writer, and that's the guy who adapted her books to the screen for the 8 Harry Potter movies. And so I have a lot of hope for that third movie, because I like Newt, and I like Jacob, and I like Tina, and so there's a lot of potential there that hasn't yet been, that hasn't yet come to fruition, but I have hope for the third installment. So that's my list. I actually feel really confident in how I ordered things. Let me know what you think, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.